training people. We should be always training on building our businesses, and sharing with new distributors, and sharing with prospects. Everything we do, we should be in training mode. Whether we know it or not, the people around us are always watching us, recording us, taking note of the things we do or don't do when sharing the business, or when we're out building a business. But one of the biggest things, I know I spent some time yesterday on a couple of different phone calls with a couple of different people from two totally different ends of my business, talking about presenting the information, sharing with them the steps on how to invite people to take a look. The invitation, presentation, validation. Just going through those things and kind of pointing out some things, and a lot of things jumped out to me of different ways we could do those things, but more importantly, just trying to portray and get across the importance of those things and showing people how to do them. It took me years to understand that I didn't have to force people to take a look. I used to tell people, hey, come and take a look at this. You'll be great at it. I used to tell people, I know you're going to love this. I used to tell people, God, you're going to be awesome at this. Those were things that I would say to people before presenting the information, not knowing that that was totally the wrong thing to say, not knowing that I could possibly be pushing those people away versus drawing them closer to wanting to take a look at the information. It took me years to understand all I was doing. My only job, my job description, my duties were to invite people to take a look. I don't care what they say. I don't care whether they get involved or not. Of course, we want everybody to get involved. Who doesn't? But it doesn't matter. I just want them to take a look. And once my mindset changed to an invitation mindset, I started to understand the simplicity of building a business. I started to understand all I had to do was go through large numbers of people. I started to understand that all I wanted to do was educate people on what Zika was, educate people on what the Moringa Oil Fair was, educate people on what the industry and network marketing could do for them. So right up front, I had to understand that all I had to do was invite people to take a look. That's what I was sharing with a young lady on yesterday. Her question to me, I'd never met her before. She got my number from somewhere, since she heard me on a call. But she wanted to know, what did I say to people when I was prospecting? What did I say to people when I wanted people to take a look at Zika? And I had to let her know all we have to do, all we should be doing as distributors is first inviting people to take a look. Hey, I came across something that excited me. You were the first person I thought about. Are you open to taking a look? Invite people to take a look. We invite people to events. We invite people to birthday parties. We invite them to this event. We invite people to that event. But we very rarely do we look at our businesses as an opportunity to invite people to take a look. For me, once that mindset change took place, it made my business so much easier. Understanding all I had to do was invite people. All we have to do, all you have to do today is find you 3 to 5 people and invite them to take a look. Hey, listen, I've been using this product for X amount of days, X amount of months, X amount of years, and it's done some incredible things for me. Who do you know? Who do you know that I could share this with that might want the same benefits? Who do you know that I could share this with that might want those same things? All we have to realize is all we have to do is invite people. Invite them to take a look. Hey, listen, if I were to give you, if I were to give you this website, would you go and take a look? Man, I'm excited. We got a lot of things going on. A lot of my business partners are qualified for brand new bands. If I were to give you the website, would you go and take a look? Invitation. We have to understand the power of our invitation. Of course, you got to get excited when you invite people. I'm always excited. I turn up a little bit more when I'm talking about my business. But one of the keys is to stay excited in the invitation. Who goes places that they're invited to when the invitee is not even excited about the event? excited about it. Man, we have a call tonight. I'll tell 5 people today. We have a call tonight. Never happened before. Will never happen again. It'll be the most exciting call in company history. This is a company I've been with for the last 6 years. Made some incredible things happen for my wife and I. If I give you the number, can you listen in? Invite people. Invite people. So first, the invitation. So I understood the invitation. Okay, next was the presentation. I wasn't the type of person that could talk around people. My dad was a pastor growing up. He's still a pastor today, but my dad was a pastor, and growing up, anytime I had to stand before the church and stand before a crowd of people, I'd break out in cold sweat, break out in eyes. I'd start crying. First words come out of my mouth. So I had to figure out how to present the information when I got started in the industry. The first presentation I went to was a live hotel presentation. Mike Sims, we were close friends. He was doing that presentation. I saw him stand up in front of a room of 40, 50 people doing it. Extremely incredible job. But the first thing I thought was, I can't do that. How am I going to present this? I can't get it in front of people. I want what he has. I want the lifestyle. I want the time freedom. But how can I present? One thing as leaders, we have to make sure we are presenting to our teammates when it comes to presenting the opportunity of Zija is how to use the system. We've all talked about the new DVDs that are about to launch. I've built a business of hundreds of thousands of people who all were successful because they all learned how to push power, how to push play, and how to do a 3-way call. Power, play, 3-way. But we have to understand that there are so many different ways that we can present the information or have the information presented on our behalf. Obviously, we have the videos. Me, if at all possible, I try my best. I try my hardest to not put myself in a situation where I'm the one talking about Zija front to back all the time. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk. If somebody wants to take a look at Zija, if somebody wants to know more about Zija, I'm looking for a way to present the information that will remove me. That may be a video. It may be an audio. It may be a live call. It may be in-home presentation. It may be a PBR. It may be a Super Saturday. But what we have to understand is when the information is being presented, we don't want to be the ones doing the talking. If I'm talking, I'm pointing and reading. I'm not doing a big full-blown presentation. I don't have a big song and dance to do because I have to remember I'm in training mode. I'm teaching my people that are taking a look that if and when they decide to get started, they won't have to be great presenters. All they'll have to do is push power and play. All they'll have to do is send somebody to the website. All they'll have to do is learn how to invite people to events. So ask yourself, how are you presenting? For the longest, my business was moving at a snail's pace because everybody I shared the information with, I was doing all the talking. I couldn't understand, even though they got involved, I couldn't understand why they weren't moving forward. But the bottom line was, it was because I wasn't properly presenting the information. So understand systematically, we don't want to do what works. We want to do what duplicates. If you have to present, hopefully you have a flip book. I have a flip book with several news articles, with several before and after pictures, with Zija information that if I don't have a newsletter, I can pull out my flip book, point and read, point to some Zija facts and read. But we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we're doing the presenting because we have to build a business that duplicates, okay? So remember, we're just invitation, inviting people to take a look at the presentation, and then there comes the validation. Now, this is key because this is where a lot of people miss it. You've invited somebody to take a look, you're excited, they've come to the presentation, they've listened over the phone, they've looked at a video, whatever the case may be. Now they're excited, but how do you validate yourself? How do you validate the information that they've seen? What do you do? What's the next step to help further validate what they've seen, or to let them know that it's going on, not just for you, but for everybody? Me, when I first got started, I was doing the invitation, I was doing the presentation, and I was trying to use myself to do the validation. Crazy. People that know us, they know us from growing up. They know us from things we've done in our past. They know us for who we are. So we have to remember, we always, in each step, want to remove ourselves. Now, when it comes to validation, I was the worst in the beginning. Not that I was selfish, not that it had to be about me, but I didn't understand the importance of the three-way call. I just didn't know. I didn't understand that in order to validate what someone had seen, in order to validate all these incredible testimonies that someone else had heard, I needed to remove myself and let somebody else answer questions. I needed to remove myself and let someone else tell their testimony. I needed to remove myself and allow someone else other than me to validate everything that someone else has seen. It was huge for me. Once it all came together, it was like clockwork. It was like taking candy from a baby. My family laughs at me right now. I can expose somebody to the information. My house can be chaotic. It can be so much going on. But I mute my phone. I edify somebody else. I mute my phone, and I get an expert on the line. I love getting an expert on the line. I love talking highly about somebody else and allowing them to validate what my prospect has seen. I love talking highly about somebody else and allowing them to answer questions for my prospect. I love getting out of the way. Some of us can't have success in what we're looking to do because we keep getting in our own way. For so many years, so many months, so many years, I kept getting in my own way. Not that, like I said, not that I had an ego, not that it had to be about me. I just didn't know. The three-way call didn't make sense to me. I remember I had a guy, he got started in my business, I don't know, about this time last year. Got off to a rocking fast start. Had great relationships with people, was a great communicator, but he wouldn't do three ways. He said he couldn't, but I felt like it was a mental block. But at the same time, I felt like he really just didn't want to. We can't because we don't, or can't because we don't want to. He didn't want to. I told him, I said, listen, if you don't put yourself in a position, I don't care how good it is, I don't care if everybody you talk to gets started, if you're not doing three ways, your team won't do three ways, and you won't be around. Guess what? A year later, the guy got off to a super fast start. I think he went bronze in the first month. Not here today. No three-way calls. He was trying to validate everything himself. So there's people who were getting started, were trying to validate everything themselves. We have to remember, ego stands for edging God out. It can't be about us. We have to remove ourselves. I love removing myself. It's not about me. Let me let you meet someone else. Let me let you hear what's going on around the country. Let me let you hear what's happening for this person. Let me let you hear what's happening for this couple. It's not about me. I want people. I hurriedly move people to somebody else because I want what they've seen or what they heard validated ASAP, quickly. Let's go ahead and get to this point so I can see if you're serious, if you're just curious. But let's go ahead and get it validated. Let's go ahead and talk to somebody else. Let's go ahead and let you meet somebody else. Let you meet the rest of the team. But what it does, it validates what you've already seen or what you've already heard. The invitation is big. We're just inviting. The presentation is even bigger because you want to use something third party to do it, something other than you. If you're talking, you're pointing, and you're reading, and then the validation is even bigger because that's the part that removes you and allows somebody else to validate what everybody else has seen or heard. Now, really quickly before I open the line, I was reading this morning A Profile to Success. That was the name of the article I was reading. It was talking about what successful people, it was a recipe that was given for successful people, some things that they should have mentally that would drive them to success. I won't go through the whole recipe. It was about 10 parts, but three or four parts really stuck out to me. And the first thing it talked about was having patience in a recipe to success. I think sometimes in this industry, we all get a little bit ahead of ourselves, and we don't patiently allow this thing to happen for us. Now, I'm not talking about sitting back doing nothing and just thinking it's going to come, but I'm talking about understanding that it's going to take some time for you to learn the things you need to know to help this grow. It's going to take some time for you to be able to pick up the proper activities that's going to allow the business to grow and go in the direction you want to go. It takes some patience. We have to be patient with ourselves. I messed up so much in the beginning. If one error would have caused me to quit, day one, I'd have been out the door. So I understood it was going to take some time. I understood that I had to have some patience in the building of my business to allow things to evolve and continue to evolve the way they have and are today. So one of the biggest ingredients was patience. The next one was persistence. We have to be persistent and consistent every single day in the building of a business. We can't take days off. I don't take days off. There may be days I do a little bit more than others, but I don't take days off. Every single day, somebody is hearing about my Zeta business. Somebody is hearing about the Marina Oil Fair. Somebody is learning more about the products, the opportunity. Every single day is some persistence going on. You have to be persistent. Guys, the hardest way to start momentum is to stop it and try to start it back. The hardest way to get momentum is to try to stop it and start it back. The way you gain momentum is to be every single day doing a little bit more. You have to kill yourself every day, but you got to be doing a little bit every single day. Persistence. You have to continue. People say no, you have to keep going. People say yes, we have to keep going. We have to be persistent every single day. Persistent consistency every single day in the building of the business. So understand patience is huge. Understand being persistent is just as big. And there were several other, I don't really have time to go deep into it, but there were several other characteristics. Those were just a couple of things that jumped out at me that I wanted to share. That really touched my spirit, touched my soul. But I understand being patient with myself. I understand being patient with new people. The longer you're around the business, one of the biggest things we have to be able to do is revert back to when we were brand new. Revert back to how many times we messed up. I used to find myself from time to time getting frustrated with new people because some people you have to tell them how to do things 50 times before they even attempt to try to do it right. Some people you can tell them once. But we have to have that mindset of that brand new distributor. And remember where we were months ago, days ago, years ago for some of us. So understand being patient with a new person is huge because we have to remember where they were, remember where we were to help them move forward in their businesses. Don't get frustrated. Don't let new people frustrate you. Guys, understand the best coaches have dealt with all types of players. Some of them were all-stars. Some of them never got off the bench. But everybody played an incredible role in the championship. Everybody plays an incredible role in the team, and the great coaches are able to deal with them all. One of my mentors told me years ago, the best coaches are like chameleons. They can blend in with anybody. They can make anybody feel comfortable. They can motivate anybody. The best coaches are like chameleons. We have to be like chameleons. It won't be easy to move some people forward. It won't be easy to teach some people. Some people will have to do it 10, 15, 20 times. Some people will have to do it 2 or 3. But the best coaches are like chameleons. They're able to adapt to anybody. So I'm going to leave it with that. Anybody got any events I do want to promote really quick? First and foremost, here in the state of Alabama, it'll probably be the biggest feature event to date. Weekend of April 6th in Montgomery. Chris Estes, Mike Sims, guys, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, Dr. Aristotle Kirkland, the whole Montgomery team. I tell you, it's a blessing to be able to work with that team. But that event, if you're within driving distance of Montgomery, Alabama, you definitely want to have guests in the room with you. definitely want to be in the building as well. The last event in Montgomery was unhooked. I tell you, it was wall to wall. Probably the most exquisite event that I've attended since I've been a part of Zija. So definitely want to shout that event out. I know this weekend, Mike Sims, Pat Anderson, Dr. Platt from corporate will be in Chicago, Illinois. If you know people in Chicago, once again, that will be an incredible event as well. I heard an event announced at the beginning of the call from American Canyon, California, as well. I want to encourage everybody again to stay on top of the calendar, stay on top of the things that are going on around the country, continue to peak, pass, and plug people into these events, and your business will definitely grow. Everybody else with any events, anything you'd like to promote before we end the call?
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Sean Danner here in Canada.
Hey, Sean.
What's going on, buddy?
Man, everything is good. It's good to hear your voice.
Good to hear your voice too. We've got lots of snow still falling here in Canada today, down in the eastern part anyway. So the snowmobiling's still good. Look, Coach, we've got Toronto coming up, where we've got Great Biff coming down to Toronto, Canada. So that's on One Team Worldwide, and also down in Montreal. So if people want to just crawl up line to their sponsors and to their leaders and make their way up to Phil Jacobson and David Moses or people like yourself to get through to David. If you know anybody in Canada, there's going to be Toronto on March 23rd, and then on May 4th, we're having Phil Jacobson in Montreal. So I don't even know if everybody on the line here knows where Montreal, Canada is. Canada seems to be a secret place to a lot of people in the States, so it's kind of cool. But Montreal, May 4th, Big Zija University with Phil Jacobson and myself, I guess. So just wanted to announce that, and appreciate your leadership, Coach.
Thank you, my man. Once again, it's good to hear your voice. We appreciate everything you do for us here in the States, up there in the secret society of Canada. I wish you well on those events. Guys, please get plugged into the calendar. If you know people, Toronto is just north of New York, the East Coast. So let's make sure we get plugged into those events as well. Anybody else? Thanks, Sean. Anybody else? All right. Well, I did not prolong today. I want to wish everybody an incredible day. Go out today, invite some individuals to the opportunity call tonight. Today's Tuesday, so we know it's a company-wide opportunity call tonight. It'll be an incredible call once again. Another opportunity for us to get a presentation and some validation all in one call. So with that, you guys have an incredible day. I'm jacked up. Hope you tried the new XM-AM. We'll see you guys over the top.
Okay, and then I'll tell you